last one, oh, it's a goodie. Boom! Physical touch. Physical touch. So, now this one's actually very interesting. So there's an extremely important key here. Physical touch is not sexual intercourse. So let's just wipe that off the board right away.
Stop thinking that way.
So
where we're going.
That's different, and like that's talked about in the book. That's, you know, we're not just preaching that. We're just, you know, kind of reiterating.
It's physical touch is not going home and having sex with your wife or husband every day.
Right.
That's all we're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So what's important in a physical touch love language is the things like just the simple touch on the shoulder. So one example they were talking about in the book is the fact that, you know, every morning you get up and your wife's having breakfast or whatever, and you go and you grab the coffee machine and you pour yourself a cup of coffee. You can easily do that, you know, by yourself and pour the cup of coffee.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, or you can go up, put your arm around her, pour that same cup of coffee, and move on. And literally just that hand on the shoulder, maybe a kiss on the forehead or whatever, or the cheek or whatever, say good morning. Like, it's things like that. It's, you know, the hugs, the kisses, the hand holding.
Holding hands for 2 minutes while you're in church or something. You slip, you hold a hand.
Yeah.
Little things like that.
Yeah, back rubs, things, you know, and without kind of sexual goals. Those are what's talked about in physical touch. The run the hands through the hair, that's a big one. Because like, it's like things like that, like they kind of just react differently to people if those are if that's your love language.
And I think pretty much what Dave was referring to, we can consider like them implicit physical touches, because he also talked about the explicit ones.
Yes.
And that's where we get a little bit more X-rated. But with with the explicit ones, you're just talking about, you know, they demand your full attention. Because like the implicit ones, they're not really like, he's not giving me his full attention by putting his arm on my shoulder, like he's still pouring coffee. But in the moment of the explicit ones, it's like, you know, he gave examples of, you know, a back rub or sexual foreplay that kind of leads to sexual intercourse when you're done. But it's kind of taking the little moments to give more attention to your spouse, to your partner, to show that you think about that.
Yeah, you're just, you know, you love them, you love their body, and you just want to embrace them kind of thing. Yeah, that's the kind of concept. So those are the 5 love languages. Just to go over them.
Let's go through them one more time in class.
Words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Okay? So those are the 5 kind of options. They are very general, and they're expressed in different ways, but let's consider that the complete list, right?
Yes.
And so if that's the complete list, what's next?
How to figure out your primary love language.
Gotta figure it out. Gotta figure it out for yourself. Gotta figure it out for your partner.
Yeah.
And because then life just gets so much better. So, how do you go about figuring it?
So, should we talk about that? There's a very easy one to do. It's a cheat one, which is if you go on the website for the book, just Google 5 love languages, Gary Chapman, and on his website he has a free test that you can take to discover your primary love languages, or you can buy the book.
It's in the back.
And it's in the back as well. Hopefully you do that and support him. It's a really good book. It's worth the buy, and it wasn't expensive.
Yeah.
So, the other ways to figure it out, though, before you cheat, I encourage doing this, is to think about what does your spouse do or fail to do that hurts you the most, that hurts you most deeply every day.
Yeah, so what does your spouse do that makes you feel good? Or what do they not do that hurts you? Or, oh, I get you. Because it's like when they do good things, it makes you feel good.
No, we're going to get there.
Okay.
So what does your spouse or partner or friend or whatever fail to do that hurts you most deeply? Because what hurts you most deeply, the opposite of that is usually a love language.
Right.
So if what hurts you most deeply is when your spouse doesn't help you clean up the dishes, there's a high chance that your love language would be acts of service.
Bingo.
Because that's what really, like, cuts deep. I'm like, man, just do the dishes. Like, I don't care if you tell me you love me, just please do the dishes.
Yeah.
Like, then that's a hint towards your love language.
And likewise, you know, if when they insult you or whatever, likely going to be words of affirmation.
Correct.
Things like that. So hopefully you get the picture there.
Yep. So second, we have what have you most often requested of your spouse? So what do you usually ask your spouse to do for you, or to help you do, or to, I don't know, bring home or something? Whatever that is, that's likely the thing that make you feel most loved. That's why you're constantly asking for.
Right, because basically you're trying to get, from them what you want. So like, hey, honey, can we hang out? I want to hang out. Going to be quality time kind of thing. Or these are just indicators.
Correct.
And yeah, so yeah.
All right. Thirdly, in what way do you regularly express love to your spouse? Because your method of expressing love may be an indication that that's what's going to make you feel loved.
Right.
Quite often we do the things that kind of come naturally to us as that should just make sense. Like, do the dishes with me. That just makes sense.
Right.
It makes sense to you because that's your love language. But to your spouse, if that's not their love language, it's not going to make sense. Like, why do I have to do the dishes? I'm sorry. They're like, I tell her I love her every day. Like, what more does she want from me?
Physical touch when you hurt me, when you physically hurt me, it hurts.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Sorry, on that note too, is like typically the love languages that we find that we express the most come from like our parents, because that's kind of what you were raised from, and that's where you see, that's what you see as normal, and that's where you learn totally, and so that's also an indicator.
It's usually like it's usually what you were missing most from home while you were growing up, or what you received the most while you were growing up. Yeah. Tends to be, but not always.
No,
one's different.
Again, these are just indicators.
Yeah, just indicators, and obviously take the test as we said. And maybe before you do, one suggestion we had was to write down what you think your love language is, write down what you think your spouse's love language is, and then discuss. And see where you go from there. Now, point I'm going to give you guys is you're allowed to have more than one, because he said there are some people out there who are bilingual in love, and they speak more than one love language. So it's okay if if you take the test or something and two things are like the top of your list, then you're probably bilingual in your love language, and that's okay. Just kind of, I guess it makes it easier for your spouse to, because they can do either of the two, or it makes it harder because they have to do both. I'm not sure.
And just in all honesty, it just makes sense. Like, it's not like if you're, let's say Wemmy's love language is quality time. If I tell her she looks like just an ugly, just rip her off that's gonna hurt.
Oh yeah,
regardless, and likewise, if I tell her she looks beautiful, it's still gonna feel nice. It's just not going to have as much impact as the quality time would, because that's what she really cares about deeply.
So now let's talk about the tank check.
The tank check.
The tank check.
I don't think it's called the tank check.
Play the tank check game.
Man, I tell you. So I never heard it referred to as tank check.
It's in the book. That's why I wrote it.
But I forget. But anyway, it is basically the concept of checking in with your partner. So
3 times a week for 3 weeks.
Calm down. We have to explain what it is. So one is, have they taken their ADHD medicine? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so the love tank, so the concept of the love tank is basically similar to a fuel tank, and basically it gets filled up when you receive the things, the acts or whatever, the words, depending on your love language. When you receive them, it fills it up. And basically,
makes sense. A car can't run on empty.
Yeah, and basically when you don't receive them, or when you receive negative ones, it kind of spends it, kind of thing, and it burns up and away. And so basically you want to check in with your spouse, your partner, to see where their love tank is at, and basically get the confirmation that either their love tank is full, or half full, or empty.
Yeah,
or whatever.
give it a scale of 0 to 10.
Yeah.
If 10 being full, 0 being empty, you can ask your spouse 3 times a week for 3 weeks is how to start off, and just find out, how are you feeling today? Is your love tank full? Is it empty? What can I do to fill it up? And
exactly. That's exactly it is, because basically all it's doing is giving you an opening, giving you an option into seeing what your spouse is currently feeling. You may be saying, hey babe, I love you, you look pretty, I really liked dinner last night, and her love tank is just sitting there at a 2.
Yeah, I'm still empty, because that's great, but you're not doing what I actually appreciate.
Right, because, I could say, what could I do? And she'd be like, let's spend some time together. And be like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, because I'm like, it's great that you love me, but you're never with me.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate you telling me, but we're never together.
So it's interesting. So that's definitely one kind of takeaway from the book, is to try that for 3 weeks and see how it goes.
Yeah. All right, so let's do 2 quick things. The first one I'm going to talk about just the idea of, like, as I said, of filling up the love tank and stuff, and then we're going to talk about our love languages and share it with you guys.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of talk about the fact that when we do have these love languages, quite often in relationships, we get unbalanced. and we feel that our partner doesn't love us or our partner isn't trying hard enough. And oftentimes it's because we're speaking two different languages.
Just, yeah.
Imagine if you're like, yeah, exactly. If he spoke French and I spoke English and he's telling me he loves me, it's like, I can't get it. Like, cool. You know, I'm not getting that. And all we need to do is just switch the language. It might be a little bit hard because it's not natural to you because it's not your love language. So it's not natural to you. But you put in the effort and you just try what works for them.
Yeah.
Try what they hear, what they listen. Try it out for a little bit and I can almost guarantee you'll feel a change because we all want someone who understands us.
Yeah.
Who does what we appreciate. And if the person's doing something that you don't appreciate, no matter how much they do and how hard they try, it's not going to hit home the same way.
Right, yeah, I completely get that. Like, it's like, you know, you could, it's, I don't even know a good analogy, but I feel like there's one in there in that, yeah, like, you're beating a dead horse.
Exactly.
Kind of thing, right?
No matter what you do, it's not going to make a difference.
But in you know, in your mind, you're like, yeah, I'm doing it all. I got this.
She should know I love her. Like,
right.
I clean the dishes every day. She should know I love her. But all the poor girl wants me to say, I love you. Just say it.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, so the book, it talks about how it's like, you kind of get frustrated with doing that, and then it takes away from you, because you're giving out so much, you're giving your love, and you're trying to show her something, and she's not taking it, and so then it just kind of burns up in the atmosphere, I guess, and that's hard on a person, because that takes out of you, kind of thing, right?
And it's like the famous saying we hear all the time, like doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same result.
Insanity. So
try something different.
Try something different, and before trying something different, take that step of learning.
You need to know what you're. Don't just like, I want to pick 1, 2, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This one. Let's try this one this week. No, try to give yourselves, like, if you're going through a rough patch right now, it might be hard to sit down and be like, hey babe, what's your love language? It might be a bit hard, but just try those hard 15 minutes together. Spend them together and try to get that love language out, and just promise yourself to try for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Just try to speak their language for 3 weeks. No matter how hard it is, whatever it takes, do it. So,
on to us.
What is our love language? What do you guys think?
Everybody knows Wendy's.
Do they?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure everybody knows you always get mad at me for not being home.
Mm-hmm. So, my 2 love languages, I'm bilingual. Took the test, and I think each one would have been like a 10 max.
No, I can...
Well, I guess it could be more than that, yeah, sorry. But my top 2, I hit a 10 and a 9 were my 2 highest scores on quality time and acts of service.
Yeah.
So, I think you can say I'm kind of bilingual in that way, because everything else was like a 4, a 2, a 1. I don't really care much. But acts of service and quality time for me are just like top notch.
Yeah. But for this guy, words of affirmation. So
I could have told you that from day one.
So to all you negative YouTube commenters, you can go straight to hell. But the guys who give me thumbs up and stuff, I love you guys. You guys just break my day right up.
It is true though, like, positive words do so much for Dave, and then negative ones is just like, man, that sucks.
Yeah, they just rile me really.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I learned that pretty early in our relationship, I could tell, and like, he would say it as well. He'd be like, hey babe, how about you try, I know you want me to stop biting, you guys know he bites his nails. You want me to stop biting my nails? How about, like, because I'd yell at him, like, stop biting your nails, you're not a kid. And then he's like, you know what?
Sometimes she'd hit me.
Yeah, he'd be like, how about you stop and just, like, when my nails are nice, comment on them and tell me my nails look good. I haven't bitten them in a while. Like, just give me positive words and it'll help me want to stay that way. And we've tried it and I think it's working.
Now, just to time out, our second book is called Love and Respect. And it talks a whole lot about how people become on autopilot in certain things in their life. And biting my nails is totally one of those things, and it's like, I'm not doing it to disrespect Wemmy kind of thing, but it's just like, they're just, it's a habit, but it is kind of funny, so like, that one's giving me an out, but no, I am working on it, but it is kind of funny, so back to us.
Yeah, so I think that kind of covers all we had to talk about for today. Hope you guys take a look at the book, try it. If you don't read the book itself, go on the website, Google 5 Love. I think the website is...
I was looking for it. I couldn't find it. Sorry. No?
Google it. 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. Go on the website and take a test and talk to your partner about it. We've given you guys a great overview of what each one means and ways to show them. Hopefully you try them out. We really want you guys to be in awesome relationships with your friends, with your family. Like, it's not just for couples. It's for your friends, your best friends, your parents, your kids. we really want you guys to have the best relationship like possibly can with each other.
Yeah, like literally, like a couple of things I want is one, just take 2 seconds, 2 minutes, and just think about the interactions you have with people and reflect on how one of the 5 love languages affects those other people.
Yeah.
Whether, it is your spouse
and
or
they're
friends
not
or
doing it to
family
hurt you, they just don't know your language.
Yep,
That's all
exactly.
it is.
So that's one thing. Second is, this is a really easy read. I hate reading, like no other. I love learning. Don't take that the wrong way. I love learning, just hate reading.
You read the book in I think like a day.
Yeah, and which I've never read a book in my life except for this one. And so it is an easy read. So I definitely recommend you getting it. And once you get it, you don't need it on your bookshelf. Give it to someone else. Yeah. And so that's what we plan to do. So if somebody's out there,
if you want it, let us know. Maybe we'll send it to you.
Exactly. So I think it's a really good book. It really it kind of opened our eyes. Differently, I think. Like it just,
Maybe that's what we'll do. Is like go on a tangent. We'll do a giveaway of our marriage counseling books when we're done.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Man, we can't stay on track.
Sorry.
We haven't taken our ADD. But anyway, it is a really good book. Definitely suggest you guys try it.
Comment below. Let us know what you think of the book. Let us know what your love language is.
And one last thing is, obviously, we're not married. We haven't been married for 900 years or, 80 years or whatever. And so I don't want to push, I don't want to be too preachy. But we're just giving our opinions on this book, right?
And our marriage counselor's been married for a while. He thinks it's good, so.
Yeah. So if you don't believe us, try the book. That's kind of where I was getting at. Yeah. Like, if you want the quick rundown, hopefully that was it. I know this was probably about 25 minutes.
Video.
But
thanks for hanging in there.
Yeah, we really hope you did enjoy it and got something out of it. We enjoyed it, and we'll do it again for Love and Respect.
Love and Respect by Emerson Eggerichs. So if you want to read that ahead and join us for the next one, feel free to. And we'll see you guys after we finish our next book, which is hopefully today. Bye, guys.